All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 2023 edition of the Rotary E-Club of Southeast USA and Caribbean Zoom meeting. We have a full meeting this evening. As you know, we skipped July, although we had sort of an impromptu meeting. We might talk a little bit about that towards the end of our time here on, but like I said, we have a busy schedule. We are going to start with our speaker, and I'm going to actually go ahead and hand the meeting over to our foundation chair, Vince Cataro, and he is going to introduce our speaker.
Okay, thank you, Alicia, and good evening, everyone. I had the pleasure of meeting Sherri at the district conference that was held in Saddlebrook last spring. And Sherri won an award at the conference that I'm sure she'll speak about. And there was a program at the conference on C.A.R.T, which we all know stands for Coins for Alzheimer's Research Trust, and Rotary's involvement in that program. And her passion came through like a lightning bolt. And I said, we've got to have her come to the meeting and talk. So I spoke with Alicia and Malona about it, and they thought it was a good idea. A little bit about Sherri. She was born in Russell, Kentucky, which is located in the Huntington tri-state region. And after moving to Huntington, she used her advertising background to launch and sustain her own direct mail advertising company, which was called Preferred Mail Advertising. And she sold that business in 2016. She lives in St. Petersburg and is a member of the St. Petersburg Rotary Club, where she serves as the membership chair. After losing her mother to Alzheimer's in 2022, her passion to help find a cure drove her to chair the C.A.R.T fund for her club. So as I stated, her passion is unrivaled in this area. And I'd like to turn it over to you, Sherri, to talk about your involvement in C.A.R.T and the golf tournament that you're hosting this year.
Hey, well, hello, everyone. This is my first time ever being a speaker on Zoom. So I'm excited. How can I go wrong, right?
Right.
So I don't know, are you all looking at the PowerPoint? Because I do not need to follow that, but if anyone's looking at it, tell me and okay, good. Well, that exists and everybody can see that on their own time. You know what C.A.R.T is? C.A.R.T has been around for a long time, but has really taken off in the last few years. What some of you may not know, just a few months ago, there was one individual in South Carolina who gave $1 million. We only gave away $800,000 this year to the 3 recipients of the grants. We have $2 million for that next year. And now we're out and starting to gain momentum. For those of you who get your C.A.R.T or your Rotary International magazine, you saw in May that the cover of the magazine was all about C.A.R.T. If you didn't see that, then I have the online version I can send you, but it is very informational and certainly shows where Rotary has the opportunity to go with this. When I was on the call in May, where they were introducing the 3 recipients of the grant, which is in the PowerPoint slide 5, I saw that one of the recipients was the University of South Florida, which is in my backyard. I'm here in St. Pete. And so I called the guy. All I can say is no. So I called and I said, hey, I'm Sherri Crouse and I work with C.A.R.T and you just got $250,000. And so would you come speak to our club? And he did. He is a wonderful speaker. I think there's going to be some opportunity to have him do a Zoom for people to see, because he's very understandable, very personable. He came and spoke to us this past Friday. What he's doing is, it provides hope. He gave us some examples of the medications you've heard about lately, the FDA approved. He talks about those and what they've seen. That's so important for people like myself who have lost someone, but it's not just losing that someone. My mom was a twin. Her brother also died of it the year before. I'm her only child. And my 3 children look at me and say, are you going to get this, Mom? I mean, are you going to end up like Granny? I mean, and I don't have answers. And there aren't any answers that we really can go out there and say, oh, there's a test, and if I take it, I can tell you I will or I won't. That doesn't exist today. We need those kind of things. People who have it in their genetic history need it, but we all need it, because a lot of people get the dementia and the Alzheimer's, and you hear about it. And today we have a lot of celebrities that are starting to come out and speak about the fact that they've got Alzheimer's. And we need to make the public aware. And because of Rotary's footprint, because of what we've done in the past, it's a great opportunity for us to use C.A.R.T as a platform to tell everyone, hey, we're behind this. What I really love about C.A.R.T is every single dollar goes to research. No money goes to anyone who's volunteering or helping. There's no one that's doing the work that's getting any of the money that's going in. There's a separate fundraising effort that goes on for those people who are going to have to be very involved, because the money's getting larger. More money's coming in. But anything that goes into the C.A.R.T portal, which anyone can make a contribution. Recently, I put something on my Facebook and told people if they wanted to give to C.A.R.T, they could. And people can go in, and anybody can go in and make a contribution. But what we're doing here in our club, last year, Mom died on July 24th. And so I thought, I got to do something. And so we did a golf tournament. I didn't know much else to do because I'm new to St. Pete, didn't have a whole lot of contacts from my past life in West Virginia. So we did a tournament. We raised $25,000, and that was great. But I've had more time now to plan for the next one. And we have a goal of $100,000 this year. And we're doing some unique things. Like any golf tournament, you can come and play. But if you're not in the immediate area, I'm going out to the clubs in our district and telling them about what we're doing and asking clubs to put together a fundraiser and try to raise $2,000 and to make that contribution towards C.A.R.T. We're doing a golf ball drop. So we've hired a helicopter, and they're going to drop 1,000 golf balls from a helicopter onto the driving range of the golf course. And this is on November 10th. And the ball that goes in the hole wins $1,000. And we've already got over 800 balls sold. So we're looking for groups that would want to say, I'll take 50 balls, I'll take 100 balls, I'll take, whatever. And we will send you those tickets. And then All you need to do is make a list of the name and the phone number of the person who got ball 951. And we'll keeping a list of all 1,000 people, and that day it'll be a live feed on our Facebook page, and we'll have a winner right before we tee off. So that way everybody can participate, even if you're not there to play golf. That alone will raise us $7,500. So we're just trying to be unique, but yet keep it to where all the clubs in the district can come participate, whether you play golf or not. You can buy a golf ball. They're $10 for a ticket. But it really comes down to the passion that most people know someone or have something that's happened in their life that they can say, yeah, I know about it and I know how hard it is. The thing we all need to realize is that it's also a very expensive problem for our society. When my mom was in care, it was $7,000 a month for her care. And some families can't afford that. It drains them. It drained my cousins or my uncle. And people live longer now, and that's good. But if a person has Alzheimer's, the care is still great. It's almost impossible to take care of someone in the later stages in your home because they can't be left alone for 2 minutes. And that's the part that I can say I experienced, and I did right by my mom. I was able to get her in good care, but it was still very painful at the end to see what the disease does. And I don't think that, like with most I'll call mental disorders, if you're bipolar, if you have suffered from depression, they're not things that are take a pill and then you never get it. I don't think we're gonna have a fix, but we need treatment. We need treatment plans that people can say, well, my mom has it, but we've got this treatment plan and she's on it and we're seeing progress. The Dr. Thanakaran, who spoke to us Fridays, they've got a case where a gentleman has actually got his driver's license back, and he knows how to drive the car again. And that's huge for a family that has no hope, because right now, for the most part, if your spouse or parents, or if you get told that they have the disease, it's nothing you can do. Just get ready for the worst kind of thing. So there's a lot of things they're doing, but it does take funding. It takes money. And that's something that I'm blessed. I've been a Rotarian for almost 20 years. And I'm just grateful that I'm in an organization that I can trust, that I know when I raise the money, I know where it's going, that I have the faith that it's not being used somewhere else. I'm working with the Alzheimer's Association for those kind of things that they're doing. But what C.A.R.T does is purely helping scientists find cures. And having Dr. Thanakaran come speak to us Friday meant so much to so many. I mean, we were just blown away by his presentation, and the fact that C.A.R.T can raise this money. And like I said, $1 million from one person. I don't know that it'll stop there. I think there's a lot of people in this world that can write a $1 million check. And just like Rotarians were able to make a huge contribution and change to polio, I think Rotary can get accredited with doing that with Alzheimer's. Because we're a people, a large population of people, but people who care and people who want to do the right thing. And so Sherri Crouse is just doing her part by rallying my St. Pete Rotary Club to allow me to put this golf tournament on, and we're going to raise $100,000 and probably more. We're working hard, finding ways to get people involved, and we're finding that people, if you ask, they usually say yes. Most people see that Rotary is what we say we are. And so that's me, and that's why I'm out talking to all the clubs in the district, because I believe most clubs can do something and want to do something.
That's wonderful. I mean, sorry about your mom. If you bear with me, everyone, I'm gonna see if I can't pull up the screen for the flyer for the golf tournament. And while I'm doing that, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask her.
Yep.
Let's see here. Well,
the golf tournament is at Cove K. I don't know where everyone lives that's on this call, but Cove K is near the Pye Airport. If you don't live near here, but you know people in Rotary that would like to golf, we're capping it at 27 teams. We already have 12. Trying to keep it to people of Rotary or people in the family of Rotary, so that the event, the people are talking about what it's about, that it's about finding a cure for Alzheimer's, that we're out having fun and everybody's having a good time, but it's really all about so we can grow this. And we've got some people here in St. Pete that have some deep pockets, and we're approaching them, and we think that we can make a difference, and it gives us the ability to just be the club that's behind it.
one more time, I'll try to pull that up. There we go. There. So there's the flyer. And the contact information.
And if you guys would like to participate in the golf ball drop, if one of you would just put together a list of names and phone numbers, then I can send the golf ball tickets to one of you. $10 each will put you on the spreadsheet. I've got golf balls that have been sold in Connecticut, Minnesota, Michigan, California, Texas. We're putting them out there to everybody and saying, if you want to be a part of this, but you're not going to be here on November 10th, you can be there by being on our Facebook page when the helicopter drops the balls. And we think it'll be fun and memorable.
Great. Any questions? Comments?
I have a quick question. Does C.A.R.T have a mechanism where somebody who wanted to make a donation to C.A.R.T in somebody else's name, where that could be done?
Yes. If you go to the C.A.R.T portal, which is in the PowerPoint, it shows you exactly how to do that. And then you go in there, it'll let you say in memory of. So I put on my Facebook the other day, if somebody wants to make a donation in memory of my mom. And so I don't know who does it, but they go in and they do that. And then I got notified by the portal, someone made a donation in your mother's honor. So you can do it anonymously. You don't have to do it anonymously, but my C.A.R.T portal. And so your club as a whole can raise money and make it in and put it in the C.A.R.T portal, getting credit to your club. And then if you just tell me, hey, we sent X amount of money from our club, then I'll just know that. And then we'll add that to what was the $100,000 we want to raise, that your club gets credit to. In every district, these people that you see, they're keeping track of which districts are raising the money, and so that they can see that we're getting the word out. Because that's my job as the C.A.R.T chair in this district, is to make sure all the clubs know about it, that you know it's there, that you know what our goals are, that you know what we're reaching for. And $100,000 is 4 times what we raised last year, but that's okay, because we've got a guy right here in Tampa doing the research. And I think that sends a message that maybe we all ought to be looking at what he's doing and showing him that we support what he's doing, but hold him accountable. You know, it's like, you're getting $250,000. What are you doing?
Yeah, a bit of a follow-up. In addition to kind of the typical in memory of, I was really thinking more along the lines of the ability to put someone else's name on the donation. It might be a donation that I make, but I want to do it on behalf of, say, one of my other family members. And another part of that question is that, for example, I have an older sister that's in late stages of Alzheimer's, but she's not dead, so it wouldn't be in memory of her.
Right.
So is there a mechanism to recognize that? And just kind of as an addendum, Amazon used to have a mechanism called Amazon Smile, where they would donate 0.5% of everything you bought to a charity. And I did that for a number of years to C.A.R.T, but they don't do that anymore. So that's unfortunate.
I'll have to get back to you, Andy, to answer your question. I do know they have started a reoccurring donor thing, like, you know how with polio, you know, we have the those of us who give to polio every year, and it's just an automatic thing. They have started that for C.A.R.T, and I can get you that information. But you can sign up to automatically give 10, 20, 100, whatever dollars per month, per quarter, so that like giving to polio, you can give to C.A.R.T systematically. But I'll have to get back to you on.
All right, thank you, and thank you for what you do.
Yeah, Sherri, I had a quick question. How do you determine the C.A.R.T recipients, and who determines that, the researchers?
There is a panel, the C.A.R.T, the Rotary has a panel, and that'll be in the PowerPoint, but there is a panel. The people bring these they bring their research to the table, and then that panel selects who is getting the money. And this year there were 3, and that's in the presentation, the 3 that got it. And that's where I was on the call that day, and when I saw it was someone at the University of South Florida, I'm like, well, I gotta call them. I mean, they're right here. And so I don't know next year, I do know we have $2 million that we only had 800,000 the year before. So you can see that where this is going, we're going to have some accountability. And that's where they're going to be doing a fundraiser just to help with the administrative, because none of the money that goes to C.A.R.T goes to administrative at this time. It all goes to research. And that was the gentleman who started it, said it will never go to administrative costs. Everyone's a volunteer.
Yeah, Sherri, of course, the Alzheimer's Association is a good entity, but correct me if I'm wrong, is not C.A.R.T. They're in the same arena in general, but having no siphon off for administration, no siphon off for fundraising, and many of the other expenses that major organizations have. Does not C.A.R.T end up streamlining the process to the actual researchers and being able to get them a larger amount of help based on the percentage of what comes in? Is that not the case?
Well, the researchers, as Dr. Thanakaran was telling us, a lot of the research that he does and the other recipients this year, it's somewhat cutting edge. It's not what the big drug companies or the Alzheimer's Association are giving to. They're coming up with, we're working on this and we've got this much proof that this works and we need money to do this. And those are the people who are looking at that kind of research and saying, yes, I people way above my pay grade and way above my brain cell grade, these are phenomenal people that may find the very cure, but they're not being funded by the Alzheimer's Association. That's a much bigger entity, and that's not all just going to research. They do a lot to help the families of, and they're there 24. I've already met with them, so I want to understand it all. And they're there 24/7, 365 days a year. They got people that are paying to be there to answer the phone for families that are grieving or frustrated or whatever. They have a call center. C.A.R.T's not that. I mean, we have nobody's being paid, and this is all money just being raised and going to research. And how they're going through that process, again, way smarter people than me, but they are determining who's getting this money.
Sherri, I'd just like to share one quick personal item related to this. It took my mother 7 years to die from Alzheimer's. And the point when I knew that it was a really terrible disease was my youngest brother and I both went down to the nursing home. My younger brother was seeing her, daily. I'm in Florida, so I was not that often. Oh, he walked in and talked with her a little bit. She then turns to my younger brother and she says, "Who is that nice little old man who visits me once in a while?" And it was funny on one side, but not so much on the other.
Yeah, it's hard to see your children. It's hard for you to see them when they come to see Granny, because I moved my mom to Florida. People are like, "No, you shouldn't move her." Well, I moved her because I couldn't see her back in Kentucky because that's not where I lived anymore. So we moved her, and I'm very glad we did. And we had a lot of years with her, but when her grandchildren came to visit, it was hard to watch her act proper and act like she knew she was supposed to know them, but they knew, for the longest time, we could still take her out places and she could go to dinner or out, but then it just got to where it just gets so hard for you to watch them, hard for them. We need, and like I said, I don't know I don't think we're going to find a vaccine. It's not like polio. We're not going to find a vaccine that we all get when we're a child and it keeps us, it'd be like getting a vaccine to stop depression and bipolar. Mental illness is different than other diseases. So I don't know that we're going to get that pill that keeps us all from getting Alzheimer's. But what I want is some treatment that will say they're now going to be able to coexist in this world for longer than, just a continual downcline, because that's what it is. It's a continual down. You just don't know from one day to the next. And that's where we need to raise the money so that these brilliant minds can find that treatment, so that it's going to just complete what it's going to do to our economy and the medical system. It's just a growing number of people. The statistics are depressing. I don't even want to talk about them, on how many people will have it by the year 2040. It's too big of a number. Where do we find people to care for them? Where do we find caregivers that can go to work every day and that person not remember who you were from the day before? Or go back in the room to care for that person and they don't know who you are from 2 hours ago. There is the turnover in the facilities. I can't imagine. It's hard when it was my mom. I can't imagine to go to work every day and in that environment. So I don't know where those caregivers are going to come from.
It's a challenge for sure. Any other questions or comments? Sherri, I really appreciate you coming on. It was a good talk. I have the flyer. If anybody wants me to put it up again, I can, but it is also on our weekly meeting thread. So you can go on there and get all the information. If you have any other questions and you can't find Sherri's information, please don't hesitate to either give Vince or myself a call or an email sound out, and we can supply any contact information for you.
Okay.
So, again,
thank you all. Thank you for considering participating and helping us, and we're in this together.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Well, that interesting discussion. It was a good talk. It was definitely heartfelt. Vernon, you are up next.
I'm up next. That's all right. Hey, everyone. It is a pleasure to be with you once again. I enjoy every time I get a chance to come and be part of your monthly presentation. You do a great job of getting great speakers. But tonight I'm here for a very specific purpose, and that is to quote unquote install your officers. And in Rotary, we go through this 1 year kind of cycle of putting new people in place. And it's kind of an interesting challenge, because it is definitely a challenge to continuously find great leaders for our organizations, some of them small, some of them quite large. And then overall, as an international entity, to go through this great opportunity sharing thing that we do each year. And I do look at it as an opportunity, because there are many organizations where the person gets entrenched And a lot of times when you have a person that's there year after year after year after year after year after year, then it sometimes limits the abilities of others to share their gifts. And so this is a great opportunity for another set of folks to share their gifts, their strengths, their ups, their downs, their ins, their outs, their good and their bad and their ugly sometimes. But all in all, it's a great time for us to grow Rotary in a different kind of way. Because yes, we want to, and we would love to have millions more members, but also the quality of every member is important. And as we think about this changeover in leadership, it is a great opportunity for us to give some people a chance to stretch their legs and stretch their minds and do something a little bit different and to contribute. And I believe that that makes a better person all the way around. So on behalf of Governor Chris, who couldn't be with us tonight, he had another meeting with some folks up in Citrus County with some projects that they're working on together as clubs. I want to come and just take this time to install your officers. So I was looking and I see that there are a fair number of them, of the officers on, not all, but most. So I know that Alicia is a returning officer and Will is also an officer. And then Vincent I see is on and he's an officer, and Andrew is one of your officers. And so it seems like we're missing Suzanne and Elizabeth, but they, I'm sure have their reasons why they couldn't be here. So to you officers, and I'll address you guys first. You have been elected to an important position in the administration of the Rotary Club of the Southeast US and Caribbean. This is an indication of your club's esteem and confidence in all of you. This club also believes that you will uphold the high traditions of your club, that you will give the best of your executive abilities and all of your time, talent, and treasure to the furtherance of the interests of this club and the carrying forward of the principles and the objects of Rotary. So if you agree to fulfill the responsibilities of your office to the best of your ability, then I ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and then state your name.
I, Vince Cotero,
Will Miller.
Do solemnly pledge
do solemnly pledge
that I will fulfill the duties of my office
that I will fulfill the duties of my office
in the Rotary Club of the Southeast USA and Caribbean
in the Rotary
of the
Club
Rotary Club of Southeast USA and Caribbean
USA in the Caribbean,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my
my abilities,
and that I will support President Sosa
and that
and
I
I
will
will
support
President Sosa.
President Sosa,
and will abide by our club's constitution and bylaws.
and I will
and I
abide
will
by
abide by our club's
Constitution and
constitution and bylaws.
Right. And so if we were in president, together in one place, one of our traditions is to give you a pin that says who you are and to acknowledge that, but I've heard that some people have so many pins that if they put another pin on them, they're going to fall over face first. And I think many of you guys are like that you've got a plethora of pins. But it is but I do hope that you are wearing your pins as a symbol of your excitement and your belief in the Rotary Club that we are all part of. So with that, Malona, you have been elected to one of the most important offices in all of Rotary, the office of the president of the Rotary Club of the the E Club of the Southeast US and Caribbean. You were elected by the members of your club, and is by their expression of their confidence in you and your leadership abilities. If you are willing to accept this responsibility, then I ask that you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Malona Sosa. Oh, wait a minute. We can't hear you.
You're muted.
Yeah, no, I don't think she has sound on her computer, and we'll have to.
Okay, we'll have to pretend we hear you. we're gonna lip read. So I, Malona Sosa, do solemnly pledge that I will faithfully execute.
Will faithfully execute
Now we hear you. The office of the president of the Rotary Club.
the office of the president of the Rotary Club,
No, I'm sorry, the E Club of the Southeast U.S. and Caribbean,
the E Club of the Southeast US and Caribbean,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and I will do to the best of my ability
support District Governor Casala
support District Governor Casala
and Rotary International,
and Rotary International,
and that I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club.
and I will uphold the Constitution and the bylaw of this club.
So it is my pleasure to have installed all of you, and I am looking forward to, continuing great things from the E Club. You guys have a special place in Rotary and in District 6950. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'll turn it back over to you, Alicia.
Okay, well, actually, I could turn it over to Malona, but now she asked me earlier if I had a speech, and I'm like, well, yes and no. I mean, I was club president for 3 years. It was an experience. I look forward to continuing, doing the work that I'm doing for the club, and we have some work in store for us. But Malona and I are working. We work very well together, and are really good at bouncing ideas off of each other. So I was thrilled when I asked her during the last district conference, the mobile district conference a year ago, that if she would be consider being president-elect, and she said yes, and I'm like, yes. Anyway, we're going great guns ahead. We've got our survey. We've done our first survey, which we do every other year, and we have the results. And I can go into those, but I want to thank the club for supporting me, and continued support from all the members, and encourage more involvement in the members. I said we're looking at some exciting things happening, hopefully. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. And I really want to take this opportunity to thank Alicia and to thank the board and all the club members. It's really a club, I would say, where we feel like home. So I would say I really appreciate so far everything you did, all the work, and congratulations for this successful year. And with the support of the board member and Alicia also by my side, I will do my best to keep it up and to meet the challenge. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Vernon, for your support, for taking the time to join us. And you are more than welcome to join, our meeting, every time you are available, and we really appreciate your support.
Yeah. Hey, and then I just want to offer to also say that, remember that the area governors, the district governors, we are all here to help you have a great year. So reach out to us when you have any challenge, or if you need some additional advice or resources, and if we can find them for you and help you get them, then that's what we're here for, is to help you just be successful. So don't forget to call on us.
We do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. So we go through the survey.
Now we go to the survey, and this might interest you, Vernon. You're welcome to stay on. Like I said, we did a survey. Let me go to screen share again and see if I can't pull that up. All right. Give me one moment here. I have to go back to that screen, and then I can go to Okay, so. Let me move my screen over here. We had. It says we had 10 participants. We actually had a couple more that actually chimed in after the survey was closed. We did extend it for a week. So when I talked to them, they basically gave me the same responses in concurrence with the majority. So what I'm going to do is, even though it says answered 10, this basically is based on 12, which is about half the club. Would have loved to have had more participation, even with, especially with the extra week that that we gave. But anyway, we're going to go with what we have. So the first question was, on average, how many online club meeting threads or on our club website do you attend? And that's not including Zoom meetings that could have. But I just want to know how many people actually get on our meeting thread and look. And if you see here, about 30%, about 3 or 4 meetings, we have, depending on the length of the month, we have, it's based on number of Saturdays in the month. So sometimes we have 4 Saturdays, which is when we start our meetings for the week. They end on the following Friday. Sometimes we have 5 Saturdays. So this is average. We had some other responses. And we call those up real quick. One person travels a whole lot, and so she actually goes to, I know who, I can pretty much gauge who wrote what responses. This person does travel a lot, and they actually go to a lot of Tarot Club meetings, so, and they counted that. And then there was one that did 5, and that person probably counted the Zoom, either the Zoom meetings or the extra ones that we have on occasion because of that extra Saturday. Overall satisfaction. We have, let's see, you see there's an 8, 2, 5, 7, a 9, a 9, a 7, a 9, an 8, a 9. It averaged to be about 7.6, I believe, which is good. It's a good positive. It also leaves room for improvement. So I was pretty happy to see that. This is a big one. This is our monthly Zoom meetings like we're having tonight, where we usually have a speaker. It's been scheduled every first Monday of each month at 7. Of course, we understand it may be an inconvenience for some club members. You're not going to be able to get everyone all the time, but we decided on giving people 3 options. You see, this was first Monday of the month, first Tuesday of the month, or first Thursday of the month, trying to keep it within that first week of the month. And then there was other. And you can see, it looks like we're moving to Tuesday. So that will allow at least 2 other people that have been wanting to join our meetings to actually join, and give them the opportunity to join. So you said we have 40%. And actually that percentage could be higher because we have one that says I am flexible and one that another person said open. So you could add that to whatever one you want. I like this, mix them up. I don't think we could do that. I think people might not remember, but I mean, it would be a fun idea, but. And then we had ones at 5 or 6 p.m. any day of the week. And the main reason we have them at around 7 is because we can catch people not coming home from work. They can come home from work, they can rest, they can relax, they can maybe eat dinner, and then they can join us for their Zoom meeting. And just keep in mind right now, every Zoom meeting is recorded. So if one gets missed, they can always go on the eClub, Rotary eClub YouTube page, and they're all recorded on that page. And I do post them on the meeting thread. Question 4, would you entertain a noontime Zoom meeting once per quarter, aiming primarily for showcasing club member projects, community service, and actually helping maybe get an international member to join? And again, this is once per quarter, be 4 times a year. Majority said yes. The 2 responses otherwise were prefer not, but they're willing to attend. And this is true on participation daytime meetings have not been a success. And that's true too. We would have to work on really getting the word out and really promoting those quarterly meetings. Question 5. And this is the one, it's basically staying the same. Our club's primary area of focus has been on basic education and literacy, with a secondary on supporting the environment. And then we actually brought in, because our last survey, clean water and sanitation was also fairly high. So we did supporting the environment with emphasis on clean water or plastic pollution water. So 80% on basic education and literacy, 50% on supporting the environment. This was pretty close. Clean water and sanitation was, 40%. So, so that's staying the same. So we'll be focusing on projects basically on education and the environment. Okay, so would you be willing to attend a hybrid meeting in July? Well, we sort of had that this past July, and everybody in the club knew but me. So it was a surprise. It was very, very nice and welcome surprise. But anyway, majority, 90% said yes. And I think that would be great. I just think, Melissa, we need to find it in a quieter location so we can hear the people on the Zoom.
That's right.
So, and we can work on that. So, no other responses on the depends part. Any other suggestions? Let's meet in person. I would like to put that with the hybrid meeting. I would love to get everybody in person, but it, we have members up in Jacksonville, all the way south to, Miami area. That's a lot of traveling, but we can Zoom. We can do a hybrid. So I think that's a great idea. And here's one, active participation in meetings has been a standing, I would say, challenge. And personal phone calls to each member might be a nice touch. And we might even be able to do that, assigning, maybe handing some calls out, dividing them among board members. That's something that the board can talk about.
Yeah.
Continue of RYE, S4TL, Rotary Club Foundation, Shelter Box, plus 1 environmental related project per year. That's right up our alley. We already have it in the budget for RYE, S4TL. We do have several members that contribute to the foundation, and we also have it in the budget for Shelter Box. And the environmental related project, many times the district has an environmental project that maybe a club has started, and we do set aside money for a D6950 project in our budget. So we could actually bundle that together, or we could have another project on our own. So, and again, here's RYE and S4TL. So that's good. That's all keeping in line with the direction we're going. Closing comments. Of course, the RI president this year, Gordon McAnally, has expressed his foci for his term. Of course, polio eradication, prioritizing mental health. I really think that's good. I think that is definitely something that needs to come to the forefront. Foster peace, and creating a welcoming club experience. So that's for this year. And like I said, every RI president has his or her own foci that they want to acknowledge. But the one response we got, and this was not really even calling a response, this was just bringing into view what the current RI president is focusing on. And so, but we did have one member say, foster peace in each area where our members reside. And I think that's a good idea. I like that idea. If we could come up with some kind of project or just some kind of way where we could see if we could gauge some type of project where we could, help foster peace in members' areas where they reside, keeping in mind that we have 23 members in our club and they represent roughly 19 to 20 different districts where they live. So that could be quite an impact. And then I just said, thank you for your time and consideration. And that guy said, oh no, thank you, which made my day. So that's a survey in a nutshell. Any questions?
No, I think it's great. It's great feedback now that, first of all, it's good to see that, we have a continuity, so because sometimes shifting gears, takes time to put things in place. So it's really great to see that we can keep moving forward and adding a lot of enhancement, improvement in a couple of areas. So that's great feedback.
And what I like about making basic education and literacy our primary focus is you can bring any of the other
Of course.
areas of focus in Rotary into that basic education and literacy realm, like the environment or like peace or like,
Yeah.
maternal and child health. And you're basically covering two areas. So.
Yep. Can kill two birds with one stone. So
Yep.
Just need to be creative.
Exactly. And I've said before, I said when I first, joined this club and was president a few years ago, this club has such phenomenal potential because we are so wide reaching throughout Florida, throughout the country, and, with our members even throughout the world, in Africa and Germany and such like that. We need to harness that potential.
Alicia, that's a great segue to, I think I put a comment and I don't know if it was on there or whatever, but my comment was, and you might remember, I think it was when you and Will came on about, several years ago, we had done a few meetings with our sister e-clubs around the world, including Chicago One and whatever. There were a lot of great international speakers kind of pulling from all these clubs. We were a part of that. We had meetings with, 50, 60, 70, 80 people from all over when those clubs met. And I kind of died off. I know I went to several of those meetings, like you might have too, when I think they had it every quarter. Is there a way we might be able to reach out to those clubs, seeing if they're doing that? And we can try to be part of that consortium again and get them get going. Means we'll get great speakers. We can do marketing together and so forth. And really, it's almost like we're having our own district as an e-club, in essence. And I think we could do more with that in numbers. Our clubs have different things. They have different projects. And I think it was a great idea, something we did. It sort of followed off the wayside. I know Doug, Will, all the district governors, maybe Vernon, kind of know about that, but maybe it's something that we could kind of promote, get behind, and see be great for us too. Marketing, if we continue on with that. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, there are still e-club president meetings. I find sometimes they get put into my spam folder. I can see if I can find the last notification I got, pull that up and share that.
Okay. Good idea. Thanks for sharing.
Hey,
Any other idea? No?
okay.
We got work to do.
We have work to do. Yes, we do. We do have a BOD meeting with President Maloney. Would you like to give everybody, like, who wants to stay on the BOD meeting, a couple minute break and resume and and say like 3-4 minutes?
3-4 minutes before, yeah. Shall
Gives
we-
it, gives everybody a chance to take a break?
Yeah, shall we go with the 4-way test before? Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
All right.
Hey,
So,
I have a quick question before we
mhm.
sign off here. Will and other past governors, maybe you, Alicia, do any of you remember Shelby Weingarten, who was
Yes.
a major donor, was here in Citrus County, was president of 2 clubs, actually formed the Sugar Mill Woods Club about a dozen years ago. Do any of you recall her?
Oh, yeah, yeah. She and her husband, was it
Doc?
Doc?
Yeah,
Doc, yeah.
okay, well, Shelby unfortunately passed away about not quite 2 months ago. And I saw Doc last week. They had moved, I don't know, 2-3 years ago from here in Citrus County down to St. Pete because of health reasons. And now that Shelby has passed, Doc told me he was interested in getting back into Rotary because they both dropped out when they went to St. Pete. And that he wasn't interested in a bricks and mortar club. He was interested in an e-club. So I sent him, a link to our website and told, filled him in a little bit about what we did. And I asked him, if he wanted to give me a bio, it was up to him. I could pass it on to you, Malona and Will and Alicia. And the last I heard from him a couple of days ago, he said, yes, he's working on it. He'll let me know. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that there's a potential for a really good new member. I'll follow up. I don't want to, get ahead of what Doc wants to do, but I'll follow up with him. And those of you that knew them, you realize they were very active. They are both major donors and have a long active history with the Rotary. So I think that would be great if we could get Doc involved in our club. He's a retired colonel from the Marine Corps, and Will, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, no, I know them well. I have seen them at many functions and had the chance to talk to both Doc and Shelley. And I can certainly vouch for them as being fine Rotarians. So any information you want to copy to me as the membership chair, I can, I'd be happy to follow things through on that.
As soon as I get some more from him and the go ahead, I'll send it to you, Will.
Yeah, tell him I'm in the club and I'll be looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, actually, I told him that. I told him who the officers were, and I said, and Will was our membership chair, whom you may know.
Cool. Well, yeah, we look forward to hearing from him.
Great, thank you.
Andy, good job. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's one other while we're talking. Past President Richard Wingate, who's in our club. He actually was the first president, one of the first presidents of our club. He wrote me a short letter. I actually posted it on our meeting thread, but the very first club secretary of the club, her name was Lynn Familier.
Familiar, yeah.
She passed. She was, I'll just read this real quick, briefly, enthusiastic member when we were only a project club in 2010 and 2011. Our first full year as permanent Rotary Club, Lynn was our secretary. She loved Rotary and personally helping people, and there are voluminous testimonies of her unselfish giving of herself and her resources to aid others. She was a special needs educator who cared about children everywhere. Many years she would collect school supplies and personally deliver them to special needs schools on her annual trip to Samoa. She most recently, on behalf of her Northern Dunedin Rotary Club, she would ask us to help find even more canned goods for their annual food cupboard drive. She nurtured the Rotary spirit in others. She was a supporter of district events and Rotary exchange programs. The birth of the Rotary E-Club is very much because of the commitment, service, enthusiasm, and vision of early members like Lynn. So I've asked Richard to send me information where we could send, cards of communication or condolences. She did have a son and a daughter. They both live in separate areas. So he's working on an address, and as soon as I get it, I'll send it out. So that's all I have. Madam President, if you would like to finish our general member meeting with the four-way pledge.
Yes. Is it the truth?
Gotcha.
So let's go for it. Is it the truth?
True.
Is it fair to all?
Fair to
Fair to
all
all
concerned.
concerned.
Will it build
Will it
goodwill
build
and
goodwill
friendships?
and better friendships?
Will it
Will
be
it be
beneficial to all
beneficial
concerned?
to all concerned?
And is it fun?
Is it?
Is it fun? Yeah, we're gonna make it fun. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
And
Okay.
yeah, let's take a 4-minute bio break, and we can just
Back here.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you, Vernon.
Bye.
Thanks, Vernon.
That went well.
Yeah, it went real well. What's the next thing we're gonna do?
I guess.